Today I got an interesting, I guess you could say, Canadian film, which I didn't realize until after. I guess some of the film was actually shot in my home province of Ontario, Toronto. So the film I'm going to be talking about is Killerparty. Welcome back everybody to episode 3 of my April's Easter egg hunt. Killerparty is from 1986, much like April Fool's Day. Here's what Killerparty is actually about. Yeah, well, it's a mix of horror comedy, and you'll find out how in a little bit when I get into it. So, in order to join a sorority, 3 friends go to a hazing party in an old house where a sadistic, bloodthirsty, demonic spirit is lying in wait. Kind of spoiler alert, that actually only describes the last half of the film. It doesn't describe the beginning, and I'll get into that. The opening is perfect, and it kind of throws you for a loop for what to expect from the film, because basically a movie within a movie within a music video. Now, really the only way to see exactly what I mean is to actually watch it. Yeah, I just found like that whole sequence was executed flawlessly. The film was well framed, well shot. The cinematography was great in it. It does kind of have that tone shift after, like, as soon as the opening credits start. It's not a downside to the film. The soundtrack is awesome. Now there's a couple 80s tracks on it that are really good, that really stand out. Those songs just fit so well with the 80s time frame that when looking at it now, you can clearly tell that this film was an 80s film, which is definitely a very good thing. The lighting is good in the film. Might not be the best in some parts, but it's still overall pretty good. The effects are well executed. The dialogue is definitely comedic at times, and it's a little more on the adult humor side, but takes place on a college. Like, what do you expect? A college film probably has that kind of humor to it, so kind of felt natural for the environment. It's well paced, and spoiler alert for this part, the possession angle of the film was definitely unexpected, but it was an interesting touch to the film. Something that you never see coming from like the first shot that's from the movie, in the music video. The film is kind of, I guess you could say, inconsistent in like one aspect. That's just, I think, how it was edited. So it actually took place in 2 different time periods. So the beginning of the film are the 3 friends pledging the sorority, and they go through all that hazing stuff, and then at some point there's a bit of dialogue where this character states something about the April Fool's Day party the following spring. I think almost immediately, like, the next shot takes place on March 15th. Judging by a sign that's on like the wall, it's like a whiteboard or something like that. It was kind of odd, like that sudden jump. It's noticeable if you're paying attention to the details, but if you're watching it as is, I guess you wouldn't really notice it. So it does kind of cause a little bit of inconsistency, and when you read up on it, you find that a lot of like the kills in the film were actually censored so much, and they actually had not been restored. In the film, you kind of notice that some of the kills happen one after the other. In reality, it was a little bit more time passed in between each kill. Because of cuts and stuff, they had to tighten it up to the runtime it is now. Overall, the editing was not that bad. Just that time jump really kind of bothered me a little bit. If you get a chance to watch Killer Party, I don't think it's available on any streaming service, but you could definitely get it on DVD from Amazon. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 9.8, mainly because of that time jump. Kind of took it down a point. Had that line of dialogue been cut out where it said April Fool's Day party the following year, and then there was a reference earlier on how this one character liked to wear masks and that it was his Halloween costume. A couple lines could have been cut out to make it a more of a cohesive film. Had they cut out the Halloween time period reference and the dialogue stating the following spring, it would have felt like a more cohesive film. The film would flow better, and you wouldn't really notice that sudden time jump that's like in the middle of the film. It's all good, and then it kind of ends on like a cliffhanger note. Maybe there was something afterwards that they had to cut, either for timing or they had to censor it. Either way, it just kind of ends and you're kind of waiting to see something and it doesn't happen. If you like this review, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. Stay tuned for the rest of them that I have coming up. See you in the next one.